everyone, I'm Ms. Fazzone, and today we're going to be talking about solving linear equations that involve fractions. Alright, so this type you've solved before. So let's go over how you learned how to do these. So, this is just a two-step equation. We want to get our x by itself. So this is one term, so we just move the 4. It's being added, so we subtract. X over 3 equals 5. What's happening with the x and the 3? They're dividing. The inverse is multiplication. So multiply both sides by 3. And if you want, you can think of it as 3 over 1 if that's helpful. The 3's cancel. X equals 15. Try that one on your own. Alright, so for this one, again, this is one term. You need to move that 8. It's being subtracted. Opposite is addition. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Negative x over 11 equals 23. These are being divided. The opposite is multiplication. Now be careful. This one's a little tricky. I put it in parentheses just because of that negative. So I need to, it's dividing by 11, I have to multiply, but I have to multiply by negative 11 because a negative times a negative is a positive. We want that to be a positive x in the end, so times negative 11. Now those cancel out. Again, you can put it over 1 if it's helpful. 23 times negative 11 is negative 253. So that's the type that you've learned. There's another method to solving these that I'm going to show you though. Alright, so when you have more than one x, or more than one fraction in a problem, it can get pretty complicated. So the thing we don't like fractions. So what I teach my students to do is get rid of them. So think of it this way. What's the common denominator of 4 and 2? Our common denominator is 4, right? Our common denominator is 4. Instead of making a common denominator, we're going to multiply the entire equation, absolutely everything in the equation, by 4. So we're going to actually think of it as distributing. And if you want, it's 4 or 4 over 1. Okay? Because when you multiply by a whole number, you really only multiply the top. So we're going to distribute to everything. So 4 times 3 is 12, so 12 over 4x, plus 4 times 9 is 36, equals 4 times 1/2 is 4 over 2x, and 4 times 5 is minus 20. When you multiply a whole number, the 4, you only multiply your numerators. Now here's the nice thing. Now that I did that, look at my fractions. What's 12 divided by 4? 3x. So 3x plus 36 equals 2x minus 20. So by multiplying everything by 4, I was able to make this equation something with no fractions in it that's easy to solve. It's just a 3-step equation. Get all my x's together, move my smaller x, x plus 36 equals negative 20, minus my 36, and x equals negative 56. So we find our common denominator, multiply absolutely everything in the equation by that number. And remember, when you multiply a whole number, you only multiply the top. That 4 stayed a 4, that 2 stayed a 2. Alright? Alright, next one. Write the problem down and think about what is my common denominator. Alright, my common denominator in this case, we have 3 and 15 is 15. So we're going to multiply everything by 15. Times 2/3, we just multiply the top, so 30 over 3 plus 15 times 2x is 30x equals, I have no idea what 15 times 86 is, so what I'm going to do is make it negative 86 times 15 over 15 because I have no idea what that is. So we have to multiply those together. But we really don't have to, because what happens to those 15s? This 15 and this 15, they really cancel out. So we're left with just negative 86 on the right side. This gives me 10 plus 30x. Two-step equation. Move my constant. 30x equals negative 96. Divide by 30. X equals negative 3.2. That's it. Not so bad, right? If you can distribute, you can do this. This one was a little weird. If you had trouble with this, I just don't have a calculator, and I don't really want to multiply 86 times 15. The whole idea is this 15 and this 15 will cancel each other out. So we're just left with the numerator. All right, a little harder. What is the common denominator of 3 and 5? 15 again, right? The common denominator is 15. So we're going to multiply everything by 15. This one's a little tricky because when I do it, I really need to distribute to the numerator. So what I'm going to get is 15 times x plus 8 all over 3 minus 15 times 4 is 60 equals 15 times x minus 1 all over 5. So I actually am going to have to distribute and then divide by 3. So I get 15x plus 120 all divided by 3 minus 60 equals 15x minus 15 all over 5. Now I can divide. This gives me 5x plus 40 minus 60 equals 3x minus 3. So we have to distribute to everything in the numerator and then divide everything on the top by 3. Put these together, 5x minus 20 equals 3x plus 3 minus 3. All right. I'm going to move it up top. Move my smaller x, minus 3x. 2x minus 20 equals negative 3. Add my 20. 2x equals 17. And finally divide by my coefficient. It's 8 over 8.5. You could leave it 17 over 2. If it's a nice 0.5, I usually write it as 0.5. Alright, so that's number 5. Next one. Alright. Try this one on your own. It's very similar to this last problem. I have confidence in you. You can do it. Alright, so think about what the common denominator is to start. 4, 3, 12, and 6. What do all of those divide into? 12, right? So my common denominator is 12. So I'm going to multiply everything on top by 12. And if you don't want to put the parentheses, you can just jump into multiplying both of those by 12 also, if that's helpful. So 12x over 4 minus 60 over 3 equals 12x minus 72 all over 12 plus 24x plus 36 all over 6. I multiplied every term by 12. Times 12, times 12, times 12, times 12, times 12, times 12. Now we're going to simplify every fraction. 3x minus 20 equals x minus 6 plus 4x plus 6. Combine like terms. That 3x minus 20 is just chilling. See, we have x and 4x. X and 4x gives me 5x. And notice we have minus 6 plus 6. Minus 6 plus 6 cancels that out. This marker is not working. Cool. So now we get all the x's together. Minus 3x, minus 3x, minus 20 equals 2x. And finally divide by 2. X is negative 10. So it's really not that bad. It's really about we find our common denominator and multiply. And once you get that done, it's really, it's pretty straightforward actually. Alright, this is the last one. Now this one has one key part that's a little trickier. So write the problem down. See if you can figure out what makes this one slightly tricky. Hopefully you notice this has a mixed number in it. So before I do anything else, I'm going to rewrite my mixed number because that's obnoxious. I hate mixed numbers as a math teacher. So this is fine, 3 over 2a. So we have 3 over 2a minus 4 over 3a equals negative 10 over 3 plus. So remember, to turn something into a mixed number, we multiply and add. So that's 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 over 3a. Alright, now that we did that, we can multiply by our common denominator. We have mostly 3's, but then we have a 2. So the common denominator is 6. So everything in the numerators get multiplied by 6. So we get 18 over 2a minus 24 over 3a equals negative 60 over 3 plus 48 over 3a. Once we do that, all our fractions will turn to integers. 9a minus 8a equals negative 20 plus 16a. Oh, this is nice. 9a minus 8a is a. So a equals negative 20 plus 16a. Now we have to get the a's together. Now who moves? This is your case where since this a is already by itself, 16 is going to come over, right? Don't move it. Don't move that one, then you'll have a 0, and that's weird. So subtract your 16a to get the a's together. Negative 15a equals negative 20. I'll write it up here. Negative 15a equals negative 20 unless divide by your coefficient. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. 20 over 15. Divide by 5 and you get a equals 4/3. And we're done. So that is solving equations involving fractions. Find your common denominator, get rid of the fraction to make life much more manageable. Okay? Have a great day.